Remember, the presidency, even the president, I remember, has said, no, was it him? There were comments quoted to him, but I'll double check on that, where they said they were going to name the sponsors of Boko Haram. Until date, I remember former army chief Hejirika also talking about, yes, we will name some of these sponsors, but years have gone by. No such name whatsoever. Well, is that a failing on the leadership of the party?
Well, I don't.
Sorry, the country.
I won't be able to answer on that because it's a security decision. You understand? But what I'll say is this: that at the end of the day, the issue of voting in those areas has to be decided by the Joint Chiefs of Staff. That's number one. Number two is that the propaganda had started, whereby you have helicopters flying around with leaflets being thrown all over. Because you're not only fighting a war against people, you're fighting a psychological war. A psychological war where someone says being educated is a sin. You understand? So this thing is something that it's a collective war. It's not only for Jonathan to fight. It's not only for the military to fight. It's also for the religious leaders to fight, for the students to fight, for the women to fight, for civilians to fight. You understand? And that's how big it is.
A lot of people agree with you that if it was just a psychological war, it would have been easy for everybody to key into it, because a lot of people think it's ludicrous for anyone to say don't go to school. But here we are, also dealing with people losing their lives for even trying to go to school or getting kidnapped. And it would seem that in the face of that, we were helpless as a country.
You see, I don't usually like to talk about that area in public, because people, if you've done sociology, people and psychology, people evolve to be what they are. They're not born as terrorists. They're not born as suicide bombers. They develop to that. And it depends on...
So you're putting the blame on the society?
It is definitely on the society they lived in.
On governments over time, isn't it?
Well, it could be state governments, it could be local governments.
That's why I said governments over time.
And not only that, it could be even parents. It could also even be the religious teachers. You understand? Like in London, you have one or two religious fundamentalist teachers that were taken out.
If we, you and I, and some couple of other people watching, if we have lost close friends, families, and relatives, I mean, we've seen some pretty young people, younger than, to the extent that I'm pretty older than most of them. We saw those that were butchered and killed in Ombase, by the Ombase court group, members of the DSS. We saw pretty great soldiers being killed by those people. Then, if we appreciate all of that, wouldn't it be untenable for us to put any kind of excuse that the government did all that they could have done at that point in time? Shouldn't we also be on a good state to blame them for acting slowly?
Let me be
because
quite
those
frank.
minds
Let me be quite frank
would have
with
been
you.
alive
Those
now if we had
states-
acted promptly.
Those states where you have in Borno, Yobe, all the Adamawa, those states, the governors, the local government chairmen, those are the people that one should really put some of the blame on, because it just doesn't happen in one day.
And if we put
Do you
the blame on
understand?
them, it's quite good if we put the blame on them.
But
when the state of emergency kicked off in those parts of the country, it was on the table of the presidency.
Yes.
The commander-in-chief.
Yes.
So you say it's all shared blame and responsibility in all of this fight against terrorism, isn't it?
You can't continue to shed blame on a psychological thing. You know, if we start looking for who to blame in this thing, then we won't move forward. And what we want to do
No, we're moving
is move forward.
We're moving forward, but
You
looking
understand?
backwards, so we just wanted to appreciate the fact that we were slow in our response.
Definitely, because it's foreign. I've said that 20 times. It's foreign to us. It's foreign to Nigeria. We've never seen it like this before.
Would you then justify, or would you...
You will look before you leap.
For those who then say, well, given that reason, perhaps among so many others, do you think they're justified if they say, I won't vote for your party?
I don't see the link, because insurgency in 2-3 states, you understand, it shouldn't be the basis of you saying that you're not going to vote for my party.
The link
what could make you say you're not going to vote for my party is if they are not doing anything to make sure that this happens, to make sure that this is quelled.
Let me just get this in. The link, for many, they think is that, look, they've lost loved ones.
Yes.
So if they had been a lot more decisive earlier, perhaps those who died may not have died. And so you can understand if they're grieving about that, wouldn't you?
I really don't think that whatever, if no matter what party was there, what will be happening will still happen. You understand? Because it's just like you saying that in the United States, the Twin Towers would not have gone down if there was another government in place. Or Libya would not have gone down if there wasn't another government in place. You understand? Look at what is happening in Iraq. Look at what is happening in Syria. Look at what is happening in Libya. You understand?
Is that a very good example? Let's use the Twin Towers, for instance. There was just one incident of the Twin Towers.
Look at how many places it happened on that day, just one day.
Yes, just how many lives.
You understand? And look at how many lives were lost.
Look at what happened afterwards. Look at the rallying round the government. Look at the decision that was taken. Look at the security apparatus that was put in place. Look at the decisions that were taken right afterwards. And look at the resolve to get the one person behind, you know.
After how many years?
After how many years?
Yeah.
But eventually, and it did not matter the government that was in place, the resolve that followed that country to get that
But
one
that's
person
what is
involved.
happening. But that's, thank you very much for saying that. But that's what is happening.
My point is this. My point is that
borders have been closed.
There was just one Twin Tower incident. In Nigeria, how many have we had?
It's not one Twin Tower incident, Maupe. Come on. You understand? You've had series of bombings even after that. Look at the one in Boston.
The Boston bombing, look at what happened there as well.
Yeah, look at
the decision to
doesn't
get those
deter
behind it
what I'm trying to
within
say,
48 hours.
Listen, what I'm trying to say is this. It doesn't deter. That's an advanced country, Maupe. We don't have, where you are now is a new development. Do you have TV, CTV, or this kind of security cameras on the roads right now?
I asked you that question. As you rightly said, we were not prepared for this.
We were not.
But the thing is, how long did it take us? Because it would seem that rather than recognize the signs at once where we saw what was happening, what we went to, or what it seemed we went to, was a state of denial and finger pointed before we finally got our acts together.
It's not finger pointing, I've already explained it to you. I said the army went in there. They were hitting the Boko Haram, okay? The international community came into it. They started accusing the Nigerian army of war crimes. They started accusing the president of war crimes.
All right, Mr. Doherty, we'll have to wrap up. Tell us, we did also ask Mr. Fashakin, what would your party do differently if they won the elections?
If our party has already, okay, this is what I'll do because of time. I'll take you through the various areas of our manifesto, and then I'll tell you what we've done. In transport, look at the airports, look at the rail. In health, look at what we've done in terms of the open heart surgery, in terms of Ebola, in terms of different things. Look at education, the Almajiri schools, look at the universities. This is the first president that's going to put close to 14 universities in place, all within 4 years. Look at social welfare. Look at the youth empowerment.
What about social welfare?
Social welfare is youth empowerment. Look at the UWIN program. Look at how many people have benefited from that. Look at the Sure P. Look at how many people that have benefited from
What
that.
would your
in terms
government
of
do
youth.
about corruption?
In terms of corruption, this is one government that has hit corruption, especially the PDP. PDP
How?
has started cleansing from inside. Look at all the big wigs, those that have gone to jail, those that have been in court. Tell me one person from the opposition that is in government that has gone to jail or has been taken to court. You see, these things are real clear. You understand? It is just that because of the humility and humbleness of the president, he doesn't believe in spending money in advertising what he has done. You understand? Look at the power station that was commissioned. You understand? People said, "Oh, Obasanjo did this." Obasanjo commissioned Ajakuta. It didn't work. It started working during Jonathan's time. Obasanjo commissioned the fertilizer industry. It didn't work. It started working in Agric during the...
Just before we go, because we've already been wrapped up, the last time we were here, we were talking about former President Obasanjo tearing his card. Now, we understand that that could be his fake expired card.
Well, even if it is fake, I brought my own voter's card to replace that card. So, if he tears that one, this one is for Jonathan. Thank you.
No, that's a membership card of the PDP.
This is a voter's
This
card.
is a voter's card, which is a step up, isn't it?
No, we thought you were going to show us
Because
a
you were
copy
really
of
sad
your
on that
card.
day. And
Yes,
I was just
it really
thinking to
hit me.
myself that,
No, seriously, it did, because I think it wasn't. I think it wasn't fair for him to do so, because I remember on TV the day he was being arraigned for I think it was taking over the government by Abacha and things, and he was shouting, he didn't do this, he doesn't know anything about this. And I still remember that same man, you understand, being picked without doing anything, being picked by some people to come and be the head of state. And on this same platform, the PDP. And that's what made some of us come into politics.
But we're past it now.
All right.
Well, other things have happened, and everybody has to move on. I'm sure he's moved on, and
we have to move on to the next segment.
And I'm sure that with everything that is happening now, I know that the opposition is really worried about all the good things that we have come up with.
Thank you, Mr. Adediji Doherty. Is a former acting Southwest Zonal Vice Chairman of the People's Democratic Party. We'll be back after the break. Join us again.